So Secret Void Scorpion still back to their old trick of who can pass first and who can gain most fate.
It's race to the bottom, right? That's what I've heard.
Well, both have Forge Edicts online, and both.
Yeah, super greedy, right? Like they just want to play as low cost as possible right now. Yeah, forged online. What are you going to forge though?
Do you try and assassinate the young rumor monger, and then you both forge once?
I don't know. If you, what's the young rummonger going to do though? He's not going to do anything to Simcoe because Simcoe doesn't have another character to play.
I think he just allows 2 conflicts without needing to commit anything from hand.
Yeah, I guess. Do we know what Simcoe's deck is? Is it Phoenix Splash or Dragon Splash? Dragon,
I believe it's Dragon Splash.
Restricted would be Forged Edict, yeah, okay. So Simcoe's in a good position, and his opponent knows it to get the Imperial Favour this turn.
And so he goes for the Appealing of the Fortunes. Being able to
Free catch card?
Being able to throw Shoju.
Oh, yeah, free Shoju.
Out there.
He's got to break it, though. So that not being under that province is not ideal. Are you going to, like, eat...
Free Soju is always good, right?
No, I think in the mirror, the greater reason to encourage a break here is because you do not want farmable provinces in the mirror. Being able to just go and get a ring effect in the mirror is quite a powerful thing.
Yep.
But we immediately see a assassinate, as I said, and so we're going to see the forge. We're going to see the forge of the forged.
The forge, the war of the forged.
We'll see if there's a third forged edict being played turn 1.
Oh. Do you do it? If you do a forged edict, you don't get...
Yep, so you see both being played.
I clearly have no idea how to play the Scorpion Mirror, because that doesn't make any sense. You're at 0 now. You're at 0 skill. Hang on, why is the attacker at 1?
The young rumor is has 2 military.
Oh, is it a 2?
The 2/2 with 1 glory.
Okay.
I think Ben was really clever there, because if the opponent did have the second Forge Edict, you're now 1 cancel up on your opponent.
Yeah.
And I think having that extra cancel in a later game when they play their bigger card effects like Ambush or Fate Worse Than Death, you're now ahead by 1.
Okay.
So I think Ben made quite a good decision there. Romano Soprano obviously wants to either deny the Imperial Palace this turn, or was very keen on getting the ring effect off this turn.
Yeah. Very, very good analysis there. I can't see any way to possibly fault that. And Simcoe's going to the next turn with 5 fate versus 4 fate.
And so now you see an ambush being played, and so you get a very similar effect here.
Oh, and actually I forgot, of course, that, we call it the, and that's just going to straight up kill that young rumormonger, right?
It's a military conflict.
It's a military conflict. Okay.
What it does do is it allows you to have potentially for shame or win this conflict and then go water in response. Oh, it's actually been contested now, so forget what I've said. But we're seeing a lot of card expenditure from the Scorpion player on characters that aren't going to be hanging around very often.
Yeah, so clearly I don't understand this matchup at all.
I think the thing I'm curious about is I think when you have an honor differential in the mirror, you should always tap your box.
Yeah, I was thinking that with regard to the assassinate. Yeah, because now Simcoe's box is online, his opponent's is not.
Yeah, and there's that spicy Indomitable Will coming in to play. Just a very, very strong start from the Australian side. The Scorpion player may have answers in hand still with 4 fate. You can still have Fate Worse Than Death. You can still have another 4 shame to battle the Shoju attack.
Yeah, there's a 3-card hand differential. So Simcoe's expended more resources in that regard than his opponent.
Yeah, but you can simply just go Earth and try and bring back that differential a bit.
You think that's what's going on? Do we know what Soprano splash is? Dragon. Do you get to talk on the thing without a mic? Here you go.
So both are on Dragon Smash.
Both on Dragon.
But appealing to the like I said, a farmable province is really dangerous in this matchup.
Yeah, it is kind of unfortunate. With all of those ones where they get effects when they break, it's always a bit tough when things like Imperial Palace and Kanjo District just show up on them.
To be perfectly honest, the Scorpion player, Romano Soprano, doesn't need to go to any other province for the rest of the game, to be perfectly honest.
You reckon? So you reckon this is going to end up with a Dishonor loss, essentially?
I think if both are on Dragon, I think it's very rare for me to see a mirror that doesn't evolve into the Dishonor win condition.
Yeah.
And having been able to not hit Secret Cache or Shameful, sorry, not Shameful. Be able to hit Secret Cache or Shameful display for the rest of the game is a very strong.
Shameful or Pilgrimage?
I know because there's the appealing. Yeah.
You know, I do recall playing a game against Scorpion online, and that province showed up, and I remember thinking, that's a very odd one to see in this deck, right? Because it does get tricky break. Is that Marlon? No?
I'm saying that I've seen a lot of this province being played lately.
Yeah? Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. It's like, but I'm very surprised, right? Like, it's not something that I would intuitively think of. Somebody's going to need to explain that to me at some point.
Maybe Glenn? What do you think about the province? The best out of the 5?
I think if Imperial Palace wasn't on it, I think it's a really great one to force a break on. Because
isn't it situational?
Because then Simcof could have forfeited a break on a farmable province to get Shoju out without spending the ambush for 3 fate.
Or Kashiko.
He was on 8 fate though, right? So he's already on a really high. Like he had a lot of fate.
And so here now Shoju's hit Shameful Display, which is not what you want to hit. You give in the mirror, you give your opponent a fate, and now they can just passively. I mean, thankfully he's already dishonored. But
yeah, it doesn't really do anything against Shoju, though, does it? Has the Young Rumonga's ability been used? It hasn't, has it?
No.
Yeah, okay. So you could re-honor the Young Rumonga if you wanted to here.
Yeah. I think you can just use Shoju's ability just to pressure a break. You go 5-2, 5-1, and so he either needs to play a second for shame out of hand or a fate worse than death or a conflict character to deny this break.
Well, there's no fate worse than death coming out at this point in the game, though, I think.
Yeah, so he passes, and now it's 5-2.
Yeah, which is breaking. Yep. So both players taking their time, really. What does the timer start at?
45.
45. So already 10 minutes into the game for both players.
Well, we know
this is a very cerebral matchup, I think, isn't it?
We know that at least in Simcof's experience, he thinks about a lot of different lines of play before making a decision. And to be honest, notoriously with Isuwa ends in the room as well, you're gonna have a lot of thoughtful decisions before you actually make a decision.
Enz is gonna be like, "Oh, you should just play Watch Commander." He's like, "I don't have Watch Commander, man." "Oh, you should have played Watch. You should have had Watch Commander in deck." All right, so Simcof passing. Looks like this thing is breaking.
It was really eloquent to see Shameful Display being used to then use the ability to remove the Dishonor token from the Rumor Monger, which will be staying around.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think this game, this matchup, I think, is much more of a numbers game than some other matchups because you actually, I always think of it like, you know, that carnival acts where the guy's like spinning all the plates, you know, and he puts more plates spinning and then he's got more and it just gets crazy. That's what I think of in this matchup. There are so many plates spinning.
So Simcof wins the favor. He will be... the honor won't be really important because, again, the strength of the stronghold will just allow them to go back to 7 each.
Yeah, but then there's all these dishonor effects, right? So the dishonor effects, I think, from what you're telling me, are going to be the deciding factors in this game.
Well, I think it's actually quite hard in the mirror, other than Forge Edicts.
Hey, Marwan. Sorry, what were you
Forge,
saying?
other than Forge Edicts and calling in favors, it's actually quite hard to cause dishonors.
You reckon?
Oh, so they're saying the time might be set wrong, as it should be 45 each.
Yeah. I thought we got to this point really quickly. 10 minutes in. That doesn't
So
sound right.
it's set the time for it's 45 minutes in total, rather than double.
I don't.
Yeah, so there's an
Yeah.
issue there.
It should be 45 each. Don't they
Yeah.
get 45?
No, but if and streams
Oh,
will be
it's
aware too.
it's not the.
It's the wrong sort of chess
Oh,
clock.
it's the wrong kind of timer. We should be looking at the streaming chat. Nope, nothing on there about that. Oh well. What do you want to do?
Oh, that's a really strong flip from Ben.
Oh man, if only you could somehow just change that one aspect of the game. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to do.
They might
They're
just-
going to need to get a mod. They're going to need to get a.
They'll
admin.
need to contact the admin. They can also manually both agree to set like a timer on the side to add an additional 45 minutes once this time is run out.
I suppose, but isn't the whole point of chess timers supposed to be that when one player gets to 0, that's it, they're done? Like you've got 45 minutes to play your entire game. Play untimed, restart. What is he saying? We're play fast. Yeah, okay.
Again, I'm assuming these are just groans in the World Cup. It just seems like there's been a lot of technical issues in the setup of the games
It's
tonight.
definitely a not non-standard format, isn't it?
Romano proposing a restart.
I think
Wow.
before we get a restart, it might be best to contact the admins for the World Cup.
Yeah, but we can't tell them that. We're not allowed to interfere in the game, are we?
It might be important just to get some
Alright,
more
hang
official
on a second.
decisions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Simcof is onto it. He gets it. Yeah. Who do you need us to contact?
Yeah, so was this contact the someone on the Discord league?
All right. So it's at Discord League admins, is it? Yeah, on the Discord League. Discord League.
You're right. Once is dead enough.
Got a good start as well.
Can you?
I think we'll just wait for an official ruling to see how the admins would like it to proceed. It is challenging when there's a time component to this format, but it's also quite difficult when you've already played through an entire round of a game.
Just gonna get some rulings on in a sec. We need some help. Cup game in progress, and we need to know whether or not. Can you actually maybe get a dead air for a second? We've got a World Cup game in progress, and we need to know. We've got the timers set to 45 minutes total rather than chess timers. We need to understand what to do. The game is already in progress. We're on turn 2. Love text to speech.
Pin messages.
So we've asked the admins.
So just for checking the official ruled document. So we should use the @Discord League admin tag.
Yeah, so we're doing
Yeah, so we're doing the right thing. We need the admins need to be contacted, and a ruling needs to be made before the game can continue.
Guys, I'm gonna jump into the room with the team just while we get this sorted out. Okay.
Again, you're stuck with me, Glenn, your host. So discussing the Scorpion, we're going into turn two. Turn two like this, where the one player has been able to pull 11 fate and has happened to pull their extremely balanced limit 1 per deck card. It's quite easy for Simcof to be able to gain the pass fate, which is quite advantageous in the mirror, and be able to cast the Fawning Diplomat and then potentially flip in another character for the turn through that hidden Dojo. It also incentivizes Romano to not just farm the Void Province right now, and to try and remove and tease out what could be underneath the Hidden Moon Dojo. On Romano Soprano's side, he has a good flip. He's able to draw an additional card this turn while bidding a bit higher than Simcof. He also has what I think is probably one of the strongest cards in the mirror, which is Favonice, which allows you to just remove cards that you don't need for the turn or future turns. Like I'd be someone that would be happily to put 3 and 4 fate on that favored niece from Romano Soprano and just have it for the rest of the game. Do you have any thoughts on that, Marwan? Do you think that's a silly decision to put 4 fate on a favored niece?
I think card milling is still the best in a mirror matchup. Because at the moment it's kind of like a stalemate, but I kind of think that Simcof actually has the advantage, especially once he knew that the opponent has spent 2 Force Edict. But I can't see a way out for the opponents other than keep finding answers for every turn. I guess you're right.
I think this turn Simcof can build just a little bit of board presence, and the following turn cast Soshi Shiori.
I honestly think Simcof. I honestly think Simcof will pass in this turn.
Yeah, sorry, I'm saying in the following turn.
Right.
Because I think that she can be a win condition, because you then just start needing to win rings, doesn't matter what the ring is.
True.
And your opponent starts to lose honor.
True. What is Yuri does again? Whenever you win a conflict, you lose
lose 1 honor. Yep. The counter to that being that Romano Soprano's draw is actually really strong. Having multiple ways to remove dishonor tokens from your own characters, it's quite good. With the Soshi Illusionist, being able to discard.
Do you think it's
discount
significant? Because he has a Soshi Illusionist.
I think it gives him a Shugenja, which is quite strong, because you could be running Cloud.
Right.
I haven't seen the deck list, so I'm not too confident on that.
I haven't seen the deck list.
But if it's Scorpion with Dragon Splash, yeah, I think the best you could hope for is a Cloud of Mind. If you have it in hand, it's maybe worth considering.
Why would you Cloud? The favorite niece?
No, no. I think you'd wait it. Maybe you wait a turn and then you play it. being able to cloud like the 4 or 5 costers that may come from hand. Both of them could be on Kachiko, which is also a different way of how they play this turn.
Right.
You wouldn't play a 3 with 4 fate on favored niece. You'd probably play like 3 and 2, and then.
So they decided to play an on time from now on.
Okay,
they
so decisions been decided that the admins have decided they will play untimed from now on, which might mean that they'll play a bit slower.
How do you see this out? I think it's gonna win by Dishonor.
I don't think the game.
On time.
I don't think the game. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Yeah, so the admins have made a ruling. They say the game will continue in play from where it currently is, and we will see how we go from there. And yeah, so I think both players have really strong lines of play going into this turn. And as with most Scorpion games, it really comes down to what you're drawing.
True.
The Favored Niece really gives you that,
I
advantage.
I honestly think that the 2 Force Edict that is banned will play a big part on this game. Because pretty much,
I think, like I said in turn 1, I think it was really strong play from Simcof. Because
did they both play 2 Force Edicts?
no, Simcof has only played 1.
Exactly.
I think it was a really strong play to play the Assassinate to deny the opponent any ability to win a conflict. And then in following that up, it then meant that with 2 Force Edicts spent, it allowed for quite a...
But I think the whole sequence is, how do you say it? It's not. It's good. In refer to, like, you have 2 inactive character that cannot Force Edict anymore, so Simcof can just ambush and jump into the game. I think that's the big sequence that Simcof trying to play, right? Other than just denying Assassinate.
I think you can be quite confident going into this turn that your Fate Worse Than Deaths, your ambushes, and even your incremental advantage cards like court games can be played. Yeah, it can be played consistently. The Favored Niece, however, on Romano Soprano's side, actually allows him really good card cycle,
Right.
which cannot be underestimated in the mirror. So we're just waiting for them to start back up. I'm not sure if there's debate or if Romano Soprano is just simply discussing with teammates and admins before moving forward. So yeah, I'm not sure if Romano Soprano has agreed with the ruling the admins made, or if he's just thinking about what his decision will be for this first phase. Okay, he's back.
So the admin's in the game now, and I guess you guys can just see all that.
We did some analysis of where the different strengths are in each player.
Yeah.
And so we're just waiting for the admins to make their final decision so that we can continue.
Do you think I need to block that?
No, I think most people. You've got now 5 spectators in the match.
Yeah.
Oh
well.
The World Cup.
Just leave it.
It's part of the process in all competitive games of any time. There can be some controversy or needing for.
And even then, this is the first time we have this kind of event anyway, right?
This kind of certainly this format. Yeah, definitely.
I think maybe the learning lesson from this evening would be that potentially maybe you should have an admin hosting the game, and they have set up the room as appropriate so that everyone runs on a standardized list without any issues such as this moving forward.
I don't think Jigoku has such features.
Well,
Creating an empty room.
There are manual commands to do stuff in Jigoku, but I don't. We haven't seen any that let you change the timers. Yeah, haven't seen anything not in the documentation anyway. So it looks like there's a bit of not controversy, disagreement between the admins about
What would you
the
pick, Merlin?
actual ruling is.
What would you pick on this matter?
What would be my ruling?
Yep.
I think.
I would say go straight
think-
restart.
No, I think what I would do is I would add 45 minutes to the clock, like to the whole clock, and then I would let the game run to that time. That's what I would do. Because it's supposed to be 45 minutes per player, which basically turns it into an hour and a half game, and then the game ends at the end of that. So that would kind of be my ruling. That would not really change the situation too much. It would mean that one player gets more time than the other player, but I think it might just be as close as it gets. I don't actually think that you can add time to clock in this thing.
What about you, Glenn? What would you pick?
Like, it's a shitty situation, right? It's
No, I think
the best
I
option
think
out of all the bad options.
I think moving forward, every player before starting the game should have a checklist provided from whether it's the admin team or the World Cup organisers that people can just quickly tick off that they've got all these things in place, so that
Yeah.
you don't start a game.
Yeah. But
and
what would you
create
do?
this.
Like, let's pretend that is in place, but it failed. You're now in this situation. What would you do now that you're in this situation?
I
I don't
think.
mean to put you on the spot. Feel free not to answer. Just
Well,
tell me what
it's
you
more I don't want to cause friction with what has just been ruled with the admins. I actually completely disagree with a restart, but
I agree.
but
a restart is the worst of all options.
but it seems like that's what's going to be happening.
Okay, it's a restart.
So we will be restarting this mirror.
Yep.
It seems.
Jump in.
Okay. All right. Looks like that's what's going on. I'm going to get everything set up. And so for anybody that is watching, I think there's probably only like 2 or 3 people watching. I'm just going to put the stream into a bit of an AFK while we set the new game up. Back in a bit.